Jimin and Taeyang went to the cafe for coffee after work. As usual, Taeyang went to the table and Jimin went to the counter to place the order. Taeyang looked towards the counter and found Jennifer standing there talking to Ryan. When Jennifer saw Jimin, her eyes automatically fell on the table where Taeyang was sitting. As soon as their eyes met, Taeyang looked away, pretending not to see her. After a while, Jennifer came to the table with 2 cups of coffee in her hands. Taeyang looked at Jennifer, who sat in front of him with a smile on her face. Then Taeyang looked at Jimin, who was standing with Anna and Vian, holding a cup of coffee in his hand and winked at him. Taeyang made a mental note to drown Jimin in the cold water. Hello, Jennifer greeted and forwarded the coffee. Hi. Taeyang took the coffee from her hand and greeted her back. Why are you always in a sore mood? Jennifer asked, taking a sip from her coffee. I have been like this since I was born, Taeyang said without giving her a single glance. I don't know how your girlfriend coped with you. This time, Taeyang looked at her. I don't have a girlfriend, Taeyang calmly said. What? But how is it possible? I mean, you are a rich, good looking man. It's impossible to believe you are still single. Jennifer put her hand on the table and leaned closer. Taeyang shrugged and said, I have never been interested in these things. Why? Jennifer asked. Because there is no such thing as love in this world, replied Taeyang. That's nonsense. Maybe you have not found your true love yet. Jennifer leaned back in her chair. Okay, tell me, have you ever felt your heartbeat faster after seeing any girl? Jennifer asked, crossing her arm over her chest. Yes. No. Taeyang wanted to say yes, but he couldn't. Then I was right, that you have not found your true love yet. Jennifer nodded, as if understanding the situation. How do we know we have found our true love? Taeyang asked curiously about love. Taeyang himself did not understand why he was engaging with her on this subject. He has never talked to a girl in his life, and here he is comfortably asking her the definition of true love. Jennifer leaned closer again, placed her elbow on the table with her palms on her cheeks, and looked at the space as if she had gone to the worlds of dreams. Taeyang looked at her strangely, as if she were a mad woman. He shook his head in disbelief and started drinking his coffee. When you are in love with someone, you feel a strong, almost inexplicable desire for that person. In fact, being in love often means yearning for someone. You think about them constantly and you crave spending time with them. When you are apart, the universe conspires to keep you together if it's your true love, forever till eternity. Even if you try hard to part your ways, the deepest part of your heart will never let you leave your true love. True love never tolerates anyone speaking ill about you. They were deeply hurt if anyone is disrespectful towards you. True love never leaves you. True love holds your hand firmly when the winds are unfavorable. One who leaves you when the things go haywire has nothing to do with love. After finishing, she returned from the land of her dream and looked at Taeyang, whose eyes were wide open. Wha- Before Jennifer could ask him, he spat his coffee. A few drops also fell on Jennifer. What the hell? Jennifer screamed and stood up. I'm sorry, I must go now. Taeyang hurriedly apologized and left the cafe. Ryan, Anna, and Jimin were watching the scene with confused eyes. Taeyang sat in the driver's seat and gripped his hair tightly. He growled in a deep, menacing voice. No, 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 that can't be. He put his hand on the steering wheel. I can't. It's not right. It's just wrong. He put his hand on the seat and closed his eyes. Jennifer, be my true love. Jungkook was lying on the bed with a book in his hand. He did not go to the office and was resting at home. He was engrossed in the book when he heard a knock. Come in. His butler came in, and looking at his face, Jungkook knew something was wrong. What happened? Jungkook asked, placing the book on the side table. Sir, outside, he, we tried. Tell me clearly what happened. Jungkook lost his temper and shouted at him. Mr. Blake has arrived, Butler informed and looked down. What is he doing here and who let him in? I am going to fire you all. Jungkook shouted and left the room. Jungkook reached the living room and saw his stepfather sitting on the couch like a king. Get out of my house this instant. Jungkook pointed his index finger towards the main door. This is not the way to welcome your father. Your mother has always taught you good manners, so you must show them. Don't talk about my mother and leave my house now. Jungkook said, clenching his jaw. Oh, my son, I am here to check if you are okay. I saw in the news that you had such a bad accident. Jungkook scoffed. And I am sure you prayed for my death, but unfortunately, I am still alive. Blake got up from the sofa and stood in front of Jungkook. No, son, this time I prayed to God for your well being, he said, looking down grievously. But the next moment, a smirk appeared on his face. Because I have an interesting plan for you that will kill you every day. You will want to die, but you will not be able to kill yourself. This is your father's promise. Jungkook clenched his fist, seething with anger. Mr. Blake turned to go to the main door, but stopped abruptly in the middle and turned to look at Jungkook, whose flaming eyes were piercing his soul. You know that I killed your mother, and you know that I am not your real father, but you do not know why I killed your mother. I think you have right to know about your mother. I will tell you everything, but he approached Jungkook again and said, before that moment, when your miserable life begins, I am telling you in advance that day will be very painful for you. He gave Jungkook a last smack and left the house. As soon as Mr. Blake left, Jungkook began throwing things. His servants tried to stop him, but he pushed them back and left the house like an errant fool. Come on, Ryan. I will drop you off at your house, Jimin offered. Thanks for the offer, Jimin, but I will go myself. Ryan grabbed her bag and turned to leave. Anna, tell her it's dangerous for her to walk alone at this time of night. Anna stopped cleaning the table and looked at them. Yes, Ryan, Jimin is right. You must go with him. He will drop you off at your house. But me, no words. Ryan, come with me now. Jimin took her hand and dragged her out of the cafe to his car before saying goodnight to Anna. He opened the car door and motioned for her to sit inside. Ryan sighed and sat down in the passenger seat. Jimin smiled at her and closed the door. He climbed into the driver's seat and started the car. The last time they waved at Anna, who was standing at the door of the cafe, and left. A man sitting in his car across the cafe was watching the scene with his clenched jaw. I don't know what it is, but you do things to me, baby girl. Jennifer's wedding day. I still can't believe I am finally going to marry the love of my life. Ryan and Anna sat on the bed watching the beautician do Jennifer's makeup. Hearing Jennifer's word, Ryan came to the dressing table and kissed Jennifer's cheeks lovingly. Jenny, I am so happy for you. May God fill your life with all the happiness. Tears welled up in Jennifer's eyes. But I will miss you a lot, she said in a trembling voice. Hey, don't cry. You will ruin your makeup, Ryan said. And we will miss you too. Anna leaned forward and kissed on the other cheek. Now we are going out to see your groom, said Ryan. He must be anxiously waiting for you, Anna added. Jennifer looked down silently. Ryan and Anna smiled at Jennifer and walked out of the room. Jungkook's point of view. Once again, the shit we all call media is here. I hope they don't spoil my mood with their stupid questions. Taeyang and Jimin are with me. Taeyang didn't want to come. We brought him here after a lot of struggle. He has been behaving strangely since last night. Looks like he's hiding something big. I never saw him like this. I will find out the reason behind his strange behavior at any cost. Congratulations, Mr. Smith, for your daughter's wedding. I congratulated Mr. Smith, who had just come to greet us. Jimin did the same, but Taeyang was in his own world. He doesn't seem to know what's going on around him. Taeyang, I nursed him and he finally came out of the other world. Oh, congratulations, Mr. Smith. He congratulated. Thank you for coming here, Taeyang. I know you don't like going to the function, but still you come to my daughter's wedding. I looked at Taeyang, who I don't think listened to Mr. Smith, and went back to his world. I closed my eyes and sighed in frustration. You are our friend and also our business partner. Why don't we come to the important occasion of your life? Fortunately, Jimin answered on his behalf. Mr. Smith smiled and after telling us that he would be back shortly, went to see the other guests. Hello, Mr. June, came the voice from behind me. I turned to look at David William. Hello, Mr. William. I shook his hand. I hope you don't make a scene like last time. His words made me angry. I don't have a good relationship with him. He is a complete bastard. On the outside, he acts like a good man, but people don't know what kind of man he is from inside. We had a good relation until he shook hands with my enemy, Albert Lawrence. I don't think you heard my statement. People who don't know you well need a statement, Mr. Jeon, David said with a smirk. Before I could say anything, he looked behind my back and was shocked for a second. I followed his gaze and saw Ryan coming down the stairs with a girl. Excuse me, David said, attempting to get their attention when they are passing by us. They both stopped and looked in our direction. Ryan was shocked to see me. Then she looked at David confusedly. Do you recognize me? David asked. Why is this Buster asking Ryan if she recognized it? Why would she know this displaceable man? I don't know you. Ryan said bluntly. That's Michael. Wait, did I see Michael? Did you forget that you hit me with your car and then took me to the hospital? Ryan began to think, and then after a while, she remembered. She made an apologetic face. I'm sorry I didn't recognize you, and I was a weak driver then. I lost control of my car and hit you. It was all my fault. What the fuck? She hit him with the car? Not that I felt bad, but she should have hit harder so that he would not be alive today. It's okay, I can understand you. It was not your fault. See, now he has started acting as a nice guy. I am surprised to see you here. And wait, are not you the same girl who slapped Mr. June? In the news, your face was not really clear, so I didn't recognize you. Was it necessary for this bastard to mention that sleeping incident? I looked at Ryan, who was looking at me in horror. She looked at Devin again and nodded awkwardly. Women shouldn't allow men to treat them like some trash. What you did was absolutely right, as if he is a saint. I rolled my eyes. I must go now, Ryan said, and as she was about to leave, David grabbed her wrist. What the hell? Can I have your number? He forwarded his mobile to Ryan to type her number. No, Ryan, don't do that. But why? Ryan asked. I want to take you out. I stepped forward to give him a punch, but Jimin grabbed my wrist and stopped me. I controlled myself and saw Ryan hesitating. You can invite me over for a coffee as a gesture of your apology. Here, this buster plays last card. Ryan still hesitated, but took his mobile and typed her. David smiled and saved her number. I will call you later. He smiled at her, who smiled back and left us. What the hell happened just now? I looked at David, who was smiling miserably at me. I know what kind of man he is. I can't let him get close to Ryan. I should talk to her. I went to Ryan and saw her talking to Mr. Smith, and I can tell by looking at their face that there is something really wrong. After a few seconds, they went upstairs. I motioned for Jimin and Taeyang to follow me. They looked at me strangely and then followed me. We went upstairs and heard loud noises coming from a room. Without knocking, I entered the room with Jimin and Taeyang. What happened, Mr. Smith? I asked without making an impression on my face, but I was deeply concerned for Mr. Smith. He is a good man. I can't see him in this condition, so I decided to intervene in his family matter. Mr. Jeon, I can. I approached him and put my hand on his shoulder. Relax and tell me what happened. I want to know if there is anything I can do to help you. Leo ran away, leaving me alone on our wedding day. Jennifer screamed and ran out. Jenny! Ryan ran after her with the other girl. I looked at Jimin, who was looking sympathetically at Mr. Smith. But wait, where is Taeyang? Taeyang's point of view. I did not wait any longer and ran outside. I was looking for girls when I heard screaming from a room. I went into the room. The terrace door was open, so I went to the terrace and what I saw shocked me. Jennifer was standing on the other side of the railing, holding it tightly, as if she were about to jump at any moment. I ran to her to stop her. Stop! Listening to Jennifer, I quickly stopped on my tracks. I can't live anymore. He left me on our wedding day. The media, the guests outside, they won't let me live anymore. She looked down and muttered to herself. I loved him so much. Then why did he leave me? If he didn't want to marry me, then why did he play all this marriage drama? No, Jenny, he has not run away. His parents say he is missing. Until yesterday, he was very happy and excited. Ryan said. I looked at Ryan and then at Jennifer, who started laughing. And do you all want me to believe that? She looked heartbroken. I know he left me because he never loved me. I don't want the whole world to feel sorry for me. No one will love me and no one will marry me. Therefore, it is best for me to kill myself. I can't take it anymore. Yes, it's true that he left you, but not because he does not love you, but because he was a bastard who did not deserve your love. And do you think that if you kill yourself, everything will end? And you will kill yourself and will be free from this torment? But have you thought about your father? Jennifer kept looking at me with tears in her eyes, and the mention of her father clicked something inside her brain. You are wrong if you say that no one will love you or marry you. There is no one like that bastard. You can't leave your father in this cruel world alone just for a few years of love you had for Leon. Have you forgotten the love your father has showered on you for over 20 years? Do you think he will be able to survive knowing that the daughter he loved more than anything else has left him? Jennifer was looking down and was guilty of not thinking about her father. I took the courteous step towards Jennifer, who was in her thoughts. Jennifer, I called her name softly. I reached for Jennifer. Jennifer looked at me with tears in her eyes and then at my hand. Please come down. If you ever loved your father, please do not make it difficult for him to survive any longer. Strengthen yourself so that you can help your father in this difficult situation where his reputation is at stake. Jennifer was hiccuping. She looked at her friends whose eyes were filled with tears. They both nodded at her. Jennifer hesitantly put her hand on mine. I hurried to get her off railing. As soon as I brought her down, she began to cry and fell to the ground. I sat down and hugged her to my chest. She grabbed my coat and started crying loudly. Sir, don't cry. Everything will be fine. I whispered and stroked her hair. After a few minutes, she stopped crying and was holding my coat tightly. I tightened my grip on her. Do you want to protect your father's reputation? I asked, still hugging her, but I felt that she nodded her head. Then I paused, pulled her away from me, and placed my palms on her cheek. She looked at me with her puppy eyes. I dropped the bomb on everyone by asking her, will you marry me? Will you marry me? Jennifer looked at him in shock. I want you to give me a chance to prove that there is someone who will love you more than anything. Taeyang! Taeyang turned around and saw Mr. Smith, Jungkook, and Jimin standing at the door. We need to talk, Mr. Smith said and went inside. Taeyang picked up Jennifer and led her into the room and sat her on the bed. He looked at Ryan and Anna, who gave him a reassuring smile. Taeyang then walked to the door with Jimin and Jungkook. He came out and saw Mr. Smith standing with his hand folded behind his back. Hearing the door slam, Mr. Smith turned around and approached Taeyang. Jungkook leaned against the wall, crossing his arm across his chest, and Jimin stood beside Taeyang. Have you forgotten who you are? Mr. Smith asked. I will keep her happy forever, Taeyang said, looking straight into Mr. Smith's eyes. You are taking her from one hell just to throw her in another, Jungkook said. I will not let anything happen to her, said Taeyang. You are in the mafia for God's sake, Jungkook said, gritting his teeth. I will protect her with my life. Taeyang spoke, all the time looking straight into Mr. Smith's eyes. Look, Taeyang, I don't want you to marry her because you paid. I love her. Taeyang quickly cut him. There is no need to lie here anymore. You and love, Jungkook scoffed. What he said is not a lie. Jimin intervened. Mr. Smith and Jungkook looked at Jimin. Jungkook raised his eyebrow and asked Jimin to explain. I mean, maybe he is not lying because they have met each other several times. They have talked to each other many times, and the way Taeyang always looked at her, so that he has feelings for her. Besides, he didn't want to come today, probably because he didn't want to see Jennifer marry someone else. And when Jennifer ran out of the room, he followed her without wasting a second. And we all saw how he stopped her from jumping off the balcony. If all this doesn't explain love, then what? After Jimin had finished, Mr. Smith looked at Taeyang, who was still staring into his eyes. I always wanted a man for my daughter who loved her more than I did. Mr. Smith placed both hands on his shoulder. And today, I am giving you a chance to prove me to be that man. Mr. Smith gave him a smile. Taeyang reassured him by holding both his hands. I will not let a single tear fall from her eyes, I promise. Mr. Smith came into the room and saw his daughter crying, hugging her knees to a chair. He came to the bed and sat down beside her. He stroked her hair lovingly. He was dying inside, seeing his only beloved daughter in a miserable condition. I don't want you to think about me and my reputation. I want you to think about yourself. I want to know what you want. Everything will be according to your decision. Jennifer looked at father with tears in her eyes. She held his hand and kissed the back of his hand while crying. Mr. Smith's eyes watered. Will you accept this offer? Do you want to marry Taeyang? Jennifer said nothing and remained silent. Will you marry him? Mr. Smith asked again. Jennifer looked at her lap and nodded her head slightly. Mr. Smith stepped forward and kissed her lovingly on the forehead while tears welled up in his eyes. He stood up and looked at Ryan and Anna, who also had tears in their eyes. Get her ready and bring her down in 20 minutes, he said, wiping the tears from his handkerchief and left the room. Taeyang stood patiently, clasping his hand over the lower endman, waiting for Jennifer. All the guests were confused to see Taeyang standing at the groom's place. Everyone knew that Edward Smith's daughter was going to marry Leon Nelson. So what happened that she is now marrying Taeyang? The media started spreading the news of Taeyang's and Jennifer's wedding. In fact, Taeyang is the richest, powerful, and handsome man in the country, and his sudden marriage shocked all his fans over the world. Jungkook called his man and ordered him to bring a car decorated with flowers to Mr. Smith's mansion. Jimin came in Taeyang's car and Jungkook doesn't want him to be the third wheel, so he decided to arrange a separate car for Taeyang. Everyone was waiting for the bride when all of a sudden the hall became silent and there they saw Jennifer slowly coming down the stairs with Ryan and Anna. She came towards the priest and stood in front of Taeyang. She did not look up even once and kept looking down nervously. The ceremony started. Kim Taeyang, do you take Jennifer Smith as your lawful wife? I do. The hall resounded with applauses from the guests. President looked at Jennifer. Jennifer Smith, do you take Kim Taeyang as your lawful husband? There was complete silence from her side. Taeyang looked at Jennifer, who was trembling and breathing heavily. He stepped forward and grabbed her both hands. Jennifer looked up and their eyes met. He smiled at her. Jennifer looked down again and then Taeyang looked at Priest and motioned for him to ask again. Jennifer Smith, do you take Kim Taeyang as your lawful husband? I. Taeyang tenderly stroked her hand to ease her nervousness. Jennifer closed her eyes and took a deep breath before saying, I do. The guests clapped once again. I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. Jennifer opened her eyes in shock and looked at Taeyang in horror. Taeyang removed Jennifer's veil and came closer to her face. She quickly closed her eyes and tears welled up in her eyes, but the next moment she felt warm lips on her forehead. Taeyang took a few steps back after kissing her on the forehead and gave her a heartwarming smile. Time skipped. Everyone left, including Taeyang and Jennifer. Jennifer cried a lot. Taeyang then assured Mr. Smith that he would take care of his wife from now on. Come on, Ryan, let's drop you and Anna at home, said Jimin, doing something on his mobile. You drop Anna, I will drop Ryan. A deep voice came from behind. No thanks, I will go with Jimin. Ryan started to move towards Jimin, but Jungkook grabbed her wrist. I need to talk to you. I am not interested. She yanked his hands away. Jungkook looked at Jimin with his murderous eyes. Jimin gulped and quickly climbed into the driver's seat with Anna in the passenger seat. Jungkook will drop you off. See you tomorrow, Jimin said and started the car. No, wait. But Jimin's car drove away. Shall we go? A deep voice whispered right behind her. She looked over her shoulder and saw Jungkook smiling mischievously. She averted her eyes and folded her arms around her chest. Jungkook sighed as she didn't move an inch. He was about to ask her again when. You are still here, Miss Payan? David was coming towards them. What the hell is he still doing here? Jungkook thought bitterly. Mr. Jungkook is also here. Well, I didn't know it was your friend's wedding. You should have told me in advance so I could congratulate him, he said in a humorous manner, to which Jungkook rolled his eyes. Do you want a ride, Miss Payan? No. She is going with me. It's late at night. You must go now. Your wife will be waiting for you, Jungkook said with a smirk. I don't have a wife, David said, clenching his jaw. The last time I checked, you were married 4 years ago. So what happened that made you say that you have no wife? By now, David was fuming with anger, and Jungkook was enjoying it to the fullest. We got divorced because she cheated on me, David replied, looking at Ryan. I met her, and it's hard for me to believe that a great woman like her would do such a vile thing. I want to meet her. Do you know where she is now? Jungkook admitted and hinted him that he already knew how he had killed his wife when she caught him cheating on her and was about to tell the media about all his evil deeds. David understood his game. He did not want Jungkook to reveal his secret to Ryan. No, I don't know, he said curtly. Shall I drop you at home, Miss Ryan? He politely asked, started acting as a good man. Jungkook did not wait for Ryan's response and grabbed her wrist. No thanks, Jungkook said and started dragging her towards his car. Stop! Ryan tried to free herself from his grip. Jungkook opened the door of her passenger seat and motioned for her to sit inside, but she didn't move. I promise I won't do anything. She just stood there looking into the other direction. I swear on my mother's grave. She, surprised, turned her face toward him. This is the first time Jungkook has been sworn in, while he never talks about his mother and does not allow anyone to talk about her. Ryan knows that if his intention were bad, he would not swear by her late mother. So she believed him and sat in the car. Jungkook closed the door and headed for the driver's seat. He opened the door and looked at David, who was standing there with his fist and jaw clenched. Jungkook winked at him with a playful smack on his sinful lips and sat inside. Jungkook's car soon drove away, leaving the enraged David alone. Jungkook stopped the car in front of Ryan's house. Thanks for the ride, Mr. Jeon. She thanked him and was about to open the door when he suddenly grabbed her wrist. Ryan looked at Jungkook, who looked restless. What are you doing? Ryan asked, puzzled. I want to say something, he said, looking straight at the road. Go ahead, I am listening. She said, I, I, you know, can you clearly say what you want to say? Jungkook turned his face towards her. She was looking at him with her eyebrow raised questioningly. He looked into her eyes, put the ego aside, and said three words he had never said to anyone before. I am sorry.